I just made $14 million on that company from day one. I want to talk to you real quick about the power of owning the shovel in 1860. A lot of people went to California for the gold rush of 1860, and a lot of people made a lot of money, but a lot of people didn't make it in gold. They actually had clipper ships that went from New York. They'd buy a pair of shoes for like 50 cents or whatever it was back then, and they'd go sell it for $5 in San Francisco. The clipper ship took 3 days to get there. That was arbitrage. And the people who owned the shovels made all the money because everybody was buying shovels and picks. You know, there's a lot of marijuana shops out there, growing marijuana, selling marijuana. The real money is selling the subsidies that go with marijuana, like the pipes and the bongs and the grinders. There's a lot of money in that. Just like with gold, the guy who is selling the pick and the shovels is making the money. Same thing happened in the marijuana industry. Let me tell you guys a quick story about my arbitrage when I was in my early 20s. I'm watching TV, watching this awesome boflex machine.
I'm in better shape now than I have been in my early 20s. That's all I use.
Well, it was $2,500 back then, and this is 20 years ago. And I'm like, I instantly went to the Arizona Republic, the old-fashioned newspaper, and I went into the classified section, and I found a boflex. I called the guy up, and he said, "You're the 20th person that's called me. That boflex is long gone," the same day it came out. So I was talking to my roommate about it, and he goes, "Go on this new website called Craigslist." So guess what? I found 10 boflexes and went and bought every single one of them for about $300 on average. I put them in the Arizona Republic for $1,500. So I bought them for $3, sold them for $15, difference of $1,200, different marketplaces. That $1,200 is called arbitrage. There used to be arbitrage Google ads that you could run and make like a penny on each one. You could resell ads. Here's something I did when I was younger. I'd go and I bought only G20 Infinities. And the reason I bought G20 Infinities is because they're a good car that'll go a lot of miles. So I'd go buy them off of Craigslist in the newspaper. And literally when I bought them, they always had issues. Me and my dad would look at it, whether it was tires, whether it was lights not working. And I'd make a few grand a pop on every single car. And I flipped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars over my life. The reason that I love G20s is because I had a lot of parts. So I'd buy all these extra parts. Some of the vehicles I bought, I'd use as parts cars. But then I'd wrap the vehicle to make it all look good. And it's amazing what you could do. Now we own a wrap shop, so I could do this all over again. But the question is, where's the best use of my time? That's Finnegan. The way that I use arbitrage in my garage door business is I'm able to go buy a company that's not open on weekends or not open nights. They don't have a great reputation. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to buy this company for 3, 4, or 5 times. So I'm buying them, and that's of EBITDA or profit. Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization is EBITDA. But the real deal is it's just a fancy word for profit. So I buy these companies for 5 times. Let's say I buy $1 million EBITDA company and I pay $5 million for it. I put in all the pieces, the depth chart, the org chart. We get wrapped vehicles. We get them on a good CRM. We make their people stronger. If I bought a company, now listen, I need you to understand this. If I bought it for 5 and then I fix it, I start opening weekends and nights, paying less for the parts than they paid. I'm paying less for marketing than they pay. I buy it for 5 and then fix it, get it down to an effective multiple of 1. I'm worth 15. I just made $14 million on that company from day one because I got the effective multiple from 5 down to 1 by fixing it, conversion rate, booking rate, cost per acquisition. If I do this 100 times, do the math. If I'm making $14 million times 100, it's a good problem to have, but this is without me really growing it. I like to buy these little, I call them seed companies, and then I water them, I nourish them, and get them up from that $1 million to 10 million. Now the 10 million is a 15 times multiple, which is 150 million. Do that 100 times, you got 1.5 billion. People don't understand it because they don't have systems. There's 3 reasons why things fail. There's no system in place, it's the wrong system, or the current system is not being followed.